This week on the Push Pull Legs podcast, we talk about the pick and mix theory. And then, of course, we've got to rank our own choices for pick and mix and how awful Dan's choices are. And 3, 2, 1, thrive, Dan.
Hey guys, welcome to the Push Pull Legs podcast with myself, Dammy.
And me, Tom Hall. What's going on, buddy?
Thrive indeed. I am always thriving, mate. I'm thriving on my butter, on my burger juice, everything else that I have in my daily life. He posted the other day, oh my God, it was like cookie dough coffee ice cream. Carnivore cookie dough coffee ice cream. Make of that what you will. I mean, I don't know what the fuck that is, right? But he basically used these carnivore bars. Yeah, you heard that right. You did hear that right.
Carnivore
bars. I repeat,
not
carnivore
just like jerky.
bars. No, actual bars, like actual bars. It's called the carnivore bar, which is again like does it even exist? Can it even exist? It was literally $100 for 6 of them.
Fucking hell. $100 for 6 carnivore
Unbelievable.
bars.
Unbelievable.
What? 18 quid a bar?
Yep.
Fucking hell.
It's beggars belief, but again, people are buying it. Do you know? Like, people buy it. I mean, more for you if you're buying that. Claiming it's crunchy because of the beef and creamy because of the tallow. It's just
how beef is always crunchy.
Yeah. It's just
burnt.
It's just ground burnt beef.
Wow.
I don't understand. I don't understand the lengths that you go to. If you're someone that's carnivore and you have a carnivore bar, you would just have a chicken breast. Just cook a chicken breast and hold it in your hand like that. I'm grabbing a chicken breast for those who are not watching. I'm at a loss with the world and the way it is.
So I got sent another one, which is steak and butter gal. She's Bella, carnivore diet, ex-vegan, 5-year carnivore and YouTuber, 290,000. At Juilliard School pianist. Join the 30-day challenge. So we could have a 30-day challenge. I'm going to click on it. It is taken over. We were just talking about this. We didn't know whether we do a predictions show at the start of every year, and weirdly, you can actually check the transcript on Apple. So, and Dan pointed out that that's probably someone's job to create.
Imagine if that's your job to actually go through our podcast, listen to it, pause it, and type the words out. Can you imagine that? Oh my God!
But then he quickly realized it's probably. He did say probably AI.
Probably not. Definitely. It's not definitely. It's probably AI.
Could be someone's VA. AI. I don't think anybody's. I mean, just like Loom gives you a transcript, or
can you imagine if that was your job? Like you got these 30 podcasts to get through today. How many left? Oh, just another 82 million today.
What? They just let anybody have a podcast? Yes.
Yeah, anybody, and you've got to transcribe it. So, and what makes it even worse is that most people only do about 6 episodes of a podcast, so they're all the really shit episodes that you've got to transcribe. Oh, Sam, thanks.
Jesus Christ! Could you imagine that? Having to transcribe everybody's first 10 episodes, it'd be absolute drivel. And the unnatural pauses that people have in where they can't continue the conversation, and it's just like,
oh yeah. let's not worry about that, because it's definitely AI, so it's fine.
It's fine. But any Coach Carnivore Cam, no. So the steak and butter gang. Oh, there's a whole gang of them. Bella, Raymond, Dr. Kiltz, Dr. Chaffee. Oh, he's the guy that's the fucking artard that's blocked and called out Dr. Anus. That guy.
They're just
I can't remember his name. And he's blocked him. And he was like, "Oh, this guy is taking payment for." And he was like, "Yeah, you've literally." And this guy, Dr. Chaffee, whatever his name is, had stitched a Dr. Ids. That's his name. He'd stitched a piece of content from 2022 with another piece of content from 2023, like 12 months apart, and then stitched them together to make it look like Dr. Ids had taken payment for this certain thing. He was just like, you've literally made my content into one thing, and they're both completely. It was madness. Absolutely. Imagine going to that effort to
Yeah.
try and
That's the
like
thing I find
undermine
so weird about it is it's like the effort they go to like that.
Coach Rebecca.
Just to try and
Okay,
discredit someone. It's just
$30 a month. I don't think I want to do it.
It's always $30 a month with these carnivores.
Yeah, Carnival Cam's one's about $30, isn't it?
Yeah. But like it's the whole I don't understand it. Because with the carnivore
June.
shit, it's fairly obvious whether you're doing it right or wrong, isn't
it?
it? You don't need a coach for that, surely.
So the benefits have become in the 30-day June challenge. You get to learn from obviously carnivore MDs, Dr. Chafee, Dr. Glitz, Dr. Hampton, and Rebecca. Um, Weekly live
I loved
priming and fasting classes.
Oh, of course,
What's a fasting class?
They got to make something out of it. Fasting class. Learn how to eat no food.
Wait,
oh, sound. Excuse me.
This is a fasting class right now. Me and Dan are not eating whilst we're having this conversation. We are drinking though, so it doesn't really count, does it?
I love the Cam's video of his physique that he had to do in half light with downlighting.
I saw that. Yeah. Interesting.
Right.
Anyway, yeah, carnivore diet. I think we did talk about it perhaps being a thing in the predictions, and it is fucking everywhere, isn't it? It is madness. Yeah. And this steak and butter girl, I'm going to get off my screen because she looks quite intense, if I'm honest. All of them are. They seem to they're just extreme personalities, aren't they?
Oh, God. It's just like, it's painful.
Anyway, Dan,
proper healthy fish and chips. He's got halloumi chips.
In your world, I'm drinking Pepsi Max Cherry. You'll enjoy that.
Yeah, I do miss that. Not gonna lie.
Yeah, because I felt like a homage to you. I don't often buy Pepsi because like the old tagline is Pepsi okay. It'll do. It's not quite Coke, but
we'll be Pepsi's all right, mate. It's fine. Nothing new on my word, really. Just as always, getting frustrated with the driver. You know, standard.
What are you getting frustrated with?
My driver.
Obviously. The driver. What's he done?
He's not doing what he should be doing. It's not going straight.
Or is this just another way of talking about Laura? I don't know. It's either Laura, I wouldn't you've gone really posh and got a driver, so you can't even be bothered to drive yourself around anymore. Or it might be a Golf King.
It's definitely the Golf Game. So yeah, other than that, so I had on Monday I shot a 78, which included a triple bogey. So that was really annoying because that would have been a really good score for me at the start. One of my better scores of the year. So yeah, that was fucking annoying. But yeah, it's not talking about just golf, but other than that, everything's all right. I read for those of you that we talk about this last time? I can't remember we talked about it. But those of you who know me, I talked a little bit about Gary Stevenson. I've stumbled across his work as of about a week, 10 days ago.
Me and you talked about it. I think we talked about it on the show.
Yeah, well, I've talked about it in content, to be fair, on social media and stuff like that. But Gary Stevenson is a former trader, London bigwig who
Pokemon or money?
Money, surprisingly. Okay. Yeah, sorry to burst the bubble there.
Just maybe clarity. There's some idiots out there.
Yeah, there is. Yeah. Who is now sort of like big on economic equality and inequality. Sorry. And yeah, just like really weird how you can come across someone on YouTube, watch a few of their videos, really like their personality, like what they're about, like their message, their story, certainly like with him, his background story. And within a week of that, I bought his book and I read it cover to cover in about 3 days. It was like really easy read, really good, compelling, like all based on his story.
Big font, a lot of pictures.
Loads of pictures, yeah. It was about a caterpillar. It was quite hungry and he ate loads of food. But no, it just hammered home to me this whole thing around like social media and content and like you've got to have a story, you've got to have a reason that you do what you do, and like he is someone who has a reason why he does what he does, but it's his background story that makes his passion for it so unique and so different. And again, without boring you too much about him, but essentially he fights for economic equality, and he's basically saying how the wealth gap is essentially making the country, or will make the country, a third world country in the future. And he draws on all this data and he draws on all this stuff around like the last 10 years. And basically the reason he's got bigger now is because a video has surfaced from him 3 years ago during COVID, predicting everything that's happening today with the economy and with how it's gone, all this sort of stuff. He's going to say, and he said in the video, they're going to say this, but this is what's going to happen. And it's now come to fruition. Over the last 3 years, he's basically been talking a lot about this and saying that's really important. And it's why he's now kind of taken off, because he's now being interviewed for a lot of podcasts, a lot of radio shows, he's been on TV. But it's his story. The reason why this is so believable and why you trust him is because he used to be the best trader in the world. He used to be, the amount of money he made for the company he worked for, Citibank in Canary Wharf, he made the most amount of money in a year than any other trader in the whole business. And he quit. He's a millionaire and he quit, and he's like, I need to fight for this because this isn't right. This is wrong. I can see this coming. I need to kind of champion this effectively. So he did it. And it makes it believable because he was there. He's done it. He's seen it. He's not someone on the outside like shouting randomly. So this is what I said in our call last week in the members group. If he was just shouting this in the street randomly, or just had a random YouTube video talking about this, people wouldn't listen to it, wouldn't believe it, don't care. It's the fact that he was from East London. He worked his way up. He went to uni, went to LSE, got into this job, did this job, smashed the shit out of it, was the most profitable trader of the year for his whole group and this whole business in Canary Wharf, and quit. That's what makes him believable. And it's the story. And I say this to coaches all the time. It's like, why should I trust you? Why should I listen to you? It's like we talk about Coach Carnival Camera. It's quite funny, obviously, because it is. But it's almost like he doesn't have the evidence, the background to back up what he's saying. He just doesn't. He just doesn't. I think part of the reason the carnivore diet's taken off quite well is because of Jordan Peterson. That's more so why it's taken off, because someone who's that intelligent and that clever has gone, I'm going to do this. And people go, oh, well, it's his story and what makes him who he is, that the reason it might add more weight to it, right? And it's why other people say, Eddie Abu's the same thing. It's like, I was a bodybuilder. I used to eat all this shit food, and now I feel loads better eating all this good food. It's the story almost of the fact he used to do that and he now feels better for it and all those things, right? That's what adds weight to the argument. He was a nurse. He keeps talking about all the fucking time, right? And it's remembering that it's the story often that makes you who you are, and it makes your message better. So like my story is the fact that I've never had a big following, never done anything called DMs. I've worked my nuts off, like built a business, built these brands, built on retention and results. That's all we talk about. Likewise with you with education stuff, it's that you are I don't like saying this, but one of the best PTs in London because of the education and because of what you know. And then you then talk to those people about it online.
Because my email, we've not planned to talk about this, but my email coming out on Friday is exactly about what we're talking about. It's like, I've made these, well, I've gone and done, and I've actually listed, if you're not on my email list, go on it, you'll get it on Friday. I've listed all the courses, every education workshop I've been on, possibly since I've turned to be a personal trainer. And but I was talking about, we're going to talk about the pick and mix theory, came up with this theory, how we can apply it in terms of, but I was like, I've made all these mistakes and taken certain things and molded my way of view and gone like, actually, this is the story about what we do, blah, 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 because of all the educations and stuff that I've done. But that was the case of like, all right, I probably just know what's happening now. But yeah, that was super interesting, very kind of serendipitous. That it's exactly the story I told on Friday.
But the problem is that coaches want the equivalent of what Gary Stevenson has had now, but they're not prepared to do the work for 3 years when no one knows about you. Like, bear in mind, this guy's story, again, he quit and he was just making YouTube videos, and they're interesting, they're engaging, he's got a bit of personality, he's got a unique accent. Again, not someone you associate with being a trader or anything like that, right? And it's kind of in his story, he talks about why that actually helped him in the whole process, right? But people aren't prepared to do the 3 years of YouTube videos, the 3 years of graph, to put themselves out there and then wait for their time to come 3 years down the line. They want it now. And it's that thing of remembering that the story is the bit that makes you, when it comes to that time, it's the story that makes people go, fucking, I like this guy. This guy's got some good stuff going. Makes you someone you'll want to interview on podcasts, someone wants to talk to. And I think that's the key thing that I would say to coaches, that if they can pick all these PTs out there, why is someone picking you? Why? Why are they going to pick you? It's easy to look at someone like yourself, easy to look at someone like me and go, oh yeah, I spoke about it on a podcast with Jake and Jake, is that I don't think I talk enough about my journey into football and like what I gave up to go into football, and the fact that I wanted to do it, and the fact that I didn't really have some holidays with the lads. I didn't really do any of that stuff. I lived with my nan for a long period of time, working for free at football clubs in all my spare time and all my free time I had. I was lucky and fortunate for able that my nan could do that. But I gave up so much between the age of 16 to 21 to do that. even went to do a master's at Liverpool Uni, didn't really like it there, didn't enjoy Liverpool, didn't have any friends there at all, because the guy there who was heading up the department worked at Liverpool Football Club, and he was heading up work with the FA. He was like one of the top dogs at sports science in the FA. Wanted to work directly under him as my supervisor with my thing. And it's like, I think that is fundamentally one of the reasons why I am where I am today. It's not in a related field. It's related field. It's not in the same field. It's not in football. It's not anything like that. But those decisions and the fact that I did all that, for me, is part of the reason I am where I am today. But people don't want to hear that. Oh, Dan, what's the latest hack on social media? I'm like, what do you mean? Like, there isn't one. Like, be yourself, do all the fucking hard work. And it's the same with you, right? You did it at Brentford, and we both, I talk about it a lot, how when we both started a third space, how in that first month, we both were like, what's the record for the most amount of sessions in month one? And we were like, I'm gonna fucking beat you. I'm gonna fucking beat you. No one else asked that question. Because I remember we sat there with Tom, the sales guy. He's like, no one's asked that. I think he was pretty much like, no one's asked that question. Like, we about. And he had to go back and look at it. And we were like, well, we'll fucking do it. Lo and behold, we did it. Like, I don't know. It's just those things that make you who you are, and the stories that you can tell and the way you tell them. Again, we could tell loads of stories about our time in London, I'm sure, about looking around. And we, for some reason, I think me and you just got it quite quick of like what we needed to do, how we were going to go about doing it. We didn't have anyone tell us. We just figured it out. We were like, if we do some classes, get our names in front of some people, we watch some people, we be around, we be friendly,
didn't have nice. But the thing is, we didn't have, like, I think everybody kind of thinks we walked in with a plan.
Yeah.
As well. We didn't have a plan, right? It was kind of like, it was kind of like common denominator stuff. And it was kind of like, you just put your hand up stuff. All right. Me and Dan teaching fucking Nike Run Club or Nike Training Club, NTC, in the fucking studio to 8 women. But guess what? We probably picked up one client like every other month or so from fucking teaching it. Well, I had a circuits class, or no, a TRX class on a Sunday, which was religiously booked out, like 8 people, all the same fucking women. Bear in mind, I was probably fresh meat for fucking like 40-year-olds or 50-year-old women. In that case, I was probably like 22, 23 years old.
Yeah, you
were. I was just like this scrawny little fucking PT. So make them jump around. But yeah, there was no plan. That's the kind of thing. It was like plan was be around and we'll kind of figure it out. And we end up seeing common trends at that kind of like age, right?
Yeah, and you just speak to people and you learn this stuff as you go, and it's just like it was that, and it's kind of funny how listening to everyone else's story, there's always something similar along those lines, and it's like I say to coaches all the time, like, well, why should I listen to you? Why is anyone going to watch your Instagram? Why is anyone going to follow you? What's your story? Why are you here? Why do you do what you do? Oh, I'd like help people. That's not enough. That's not a story. That's just a fucking statement. Like,
but Dan, I like helping busy people. That's what I like.
Yeah, busy professionals specifically, with money that can pay me money. You know, it's that for me is the thing that coaches need to get their head around, because every single person that you follow on Instagram, another random one. Here's another random one. I on my explore page, I came up with a video of this girl. Ooh. She does videos with her nan. Not those types of videos. She does videos with her nan. And her and her nan have got like 600,000 followers. Her and her nan have got 600,000 followers. And the video that got on my explore page was this girl, and she was basically saying that she's like, said to her nan, she was like, sat there, she goes, Nan, I'm going to, I just got to do a video on my own for my channel. I'm just going to film it now. Is that all right? She's like, yeah, no worries. And her nan's in the background of this video. And she's filming this video, and she's basically saying, yeah, so here's my entry for Miss World UK beauty pageant or something like that. And she's like, I've got 3 questions to answer. She goes, number 1, what is your eating regime like? And she's like, yeah, I don't eat any sugar. I eat really clean. And you can just see a nan in the background, like pulling faces, like, what the fuck, like this all the time. Like, and she goes through it, obviously plays along with it. But it's just, you can see the relationship between these 2 people. And then you start looking on their page and you can see the story. The pinned post, the pinned video is their story of why they have a close relationship. They've got a book out together and it tells their journey. And it's like, you can see them getting emotional, opening this book and talking about, and you can just see the story. Whereas I think with PTs, they're like expecting people to follow them. These people have got like 250,000 followers, 750,000 followers. And PTs want the same level of following without any story and emotion or any sort of thing there, no consistency. Like, their videos are just her and a nan, every single video, non-stop, loads of personality between her and a nan, the relationship they've got. Same thing over and over and over again. And PTs don't get it. They just can't understand that the story is much more important than whether you know whether to help someone increase their protein or not. Just shut up about fucking protein, will you? No one gives a fuck about protein. Believe me. Everyone gives a fuck about your story if you've got one or not. every single person I know that's got more followers than you, not you, Tom, as in you listening, they've got a better story. They've just got a better story than you. It's that straightforward in my mind. When I look across the board, they've got a better story. I know what they stand for. They talk about it all the time, and I know what I'm going to get with them.
No, sound like Stephen Bartlett, mate. That's all he bangs on about as well. What's your story? What's that? There's no, I can't sell that story.
He's
That's what
right, isn't he?
Yeah, he talks about it hands up, like straight up on Dragon's Den.
So yeah, and it's one of those where you know that when he was younger, he stole Chicago Town pizzas because he fucking talks about it all the fucking time. You know he did. You know he lived with his mum. You know he was a criminal when he was younger. You know he dropped out of school. You know he went to uni and didn't do anything. You know it because he talks about it all the time. There's a lesson for coaches there. Be as boring as Stephen Bartlett and you'll get someone. Yeah. Anyway, right, that's my little rant. That's my little rant for the week. Anyway,
we're going to pivot slightly because we'll talk about. We're going to come back to that because this is the theory that obviously like my email is coming out on. I'm going to do a little bit of some reels on it as well. Was the pick and mix theory. And then obviously I was like, well, I've got to talk about pick and mix in general, really. So we're going to talk about that first rather than the actual pick and mix theory for coaches. But this was just the pick and mix theory. I was talking to a lad that actually trains in my facility who's on my combine. What a legend. Knows me in person and is part of my group. Mental, absolutely mental. I know, also more Lee, but we're talking about like because there's quite a few like UP coaches at my facility as well who are absolutely, they've obviously left UP, so they've got a brain, but they went there, so they don't have much of a brain. So there's interesting things, but we'll talk about the pick and mix theory, and it's something Dan will 100% agree with, I hope. But before that, we're gonna fucking rank pick and mix because fucking hell, how can we not? I've got a pick and mix hasn't changed, has it? Let's be honest. Like, I'm assuming the classics that we were. Did you used to get pick and mix? Where did you get it from? Was it like the newsagents, like around the corner, or did you get it from Woolworths? Did you get it from WH Smith? Did you get it from like Wilko? Corner shop. Fair enough. Did you get it from? Is it Candy King as well? Was the Candy King like in Odeon?
It was just like the local newsagents that just.
So I used to do like newsagents when I was really little. It was like penny sweets and stuff like that. But then didn't Woolworths? They changed it to like a cup, didn't they? Everything you could fill in a fucking cup. Whereas originally it was like how much it weighed. Oh, but then I didn't know which one was worse.
Yeah.
Anyway. I've got open the Metro piece from 2016. I think that's valid. It's fine. Obviously, the title of my email is too many gummy snakes. So, I mean, watch out for that, mate. So you can probably see where it's going. Do we want to rank ours in terms of what would you choose if you've only got like 5? Because on here there's 50. I'm not going to name 50. I think they've got a top 10. Are we going to do a classic, Dan guesses the top 10 and gets it all wrong? Or should we do ranking these on our own ones? Or what would you go?
Mate, I'm just going to get the article as well, the same one.
Top 3 of Dan's, and then we'll get the classic top 10 out here and some honourable mentions.
Okay, let me just refresh our memory here because some people.
Do you want me to?
I mean, their number one is the worst one, by the way. Their number one that they picked.
Have you got the Metro? I've dropped it in the chat just in case.
Oh my god, some of these are awful though. They are.
I know they are, right?
I've got to go through these and think now because, for me, I'm not as big on the sour ones. You see, some people love the sour ones, and I'm okay with those, but. Mine are going to be real boring, and people are going to be like, "Oh my god, you're so boring, Dan." Whatever. Anyway, so number 1 for me was the blue raspberry pencil.
Okay, yeah.
Blue
How did you eat that though? There was a correct way to eat this.
Just normally. Like that.
No. I would open it up.
Yeah, I know you would because you. So that's number 1 for me. Was they were so good.
That was interesting. I had a conversation with my buddy Nathan about his girlfriend. He was like, "Oh, my girlfriend eats a Twister really weirdly, right?" So how would you eat a Twister lolly?
Just normally. Why do people fuck around with this?
No, like you get it, and then
She licks all the
in
ice
the
cream out
ridges,
in the
right?
middle,
You've got the
probably.
ice cream. I lick
Yeah.
the ice cream, like ridge that bit out,
Why?
and then
Just why?
gotta make a game
That's
of
my
it,
thinking.
mate.
Just why? I just don't get it. So that would be number one. The
So
blue raspberry
blue
pencil.
pencils.
Are we having? I do like giant straws. Giant straws are great.
Giant straws.
I'm going to go giant straws. And then
Fucking
for the
hell.
last
No,
one,
they're terrible. You're wrong.
for the last one, I think. Let me just double check that it's actually in there.
There's
A
so
fruit salad's
many.
in there. A fruit salad.
Fruit salad. Yeah,
because I was used to have
well,
fruit salad.
drumsticks are in there. It's basically the same thing, isn't it?
Yeah, fruit salad. Fruit salad. There you go. There's my three. They're my three. Bag full of those. I'm happy. I'm anyone's.
I mean, who was ever like Dolly Mixtures? Fucking
No,
Gran. What the fuck is going on there?
definitely not. But I mean, let's talk about the metro. What would yours be then, Tom? Go for yours first.
So it's interesting. I would default to chocolate no matter what, but I don't think I can pick chocolate in here.
Not the pick and mix chocolate though.
Not the pick and mix chocolate, but there was always mini eggs. That's the issue, and I actually quite enjoyed. Did you ever have these like
buy a bag of mini eggs? No, because these are supposed to be things you can't buy. Like,
yeah, I know, but I'm just fucking all right. There's mini eggs on this list, mate.
No, I'm not having
and in my newsagents, there was like Smarties and stuff that you'd fill up in the gaps. So, but there was also these. I think I like these. There was these little foil like looked like crowns, and it had little chocolate in, but it looked like a little. It was like tiny little foil chocolate thing, and it was you just unwrap it, and it was like little chocolate bite.
I remember, Tom.
You're not. Okay. I don't know what they were called.
Some dodgy fucking pick and mix you had.
I love that. Yeah, 50 and it's 52 on the list. Good work, Metro. Sums you up as a fucking newspaper.
I mean, just to give you an insight into some of the ones that I definitely wouldn't be picking, is the Metro article. Number one is flying saucers.
Flying saucers is number one. That's bonkers,
they
isn't it?
Awful. The worst. They are the worst one.
They're not the worst.
Would never pick.
They're not the worst, mate.
And then another honorable mention for another shit one: fried eggs.
No, they're good.
No, they're not. Right.
Yeah, anything in Haribo's Star Mix is good, mate.
Yeah, but the lemon jelly bit, it's lemon with a bit of foam on. No, definitely not.
Grow up.
I tell you what I did like is the blue dolphins. They used to be good because they were quite big.
Good.
But they were quite costly because they were quite big. So
this is where I would go, right? So weirdly, I don't think mine is on here, and that's why I wrote my article about it. My fucking email was the gummy snake, the big snake. Do you remember
the
those?
big one? Yeah, the big
snake,
one,
right?
But that was only in cinemas, though. Really, that wasn't really at most pick and mixes.
That was in Woolworths
because it was so big. Woolworths as well.
That was definitely in Woolworths, mate.
Yeah, Woolworths. I'm thinking like.
If anybody doesn't know what Woolworths is, they're not. It's not jelly snake. It's a big snake.
It's a big
jelly snakes are twos. They look like jelly snakes. Look like caterpillars, if I'm honest. Subpar. And
I'll tell you what else was good. Do you remember the candy necklace? We used to chew half of it off and then ping it at someone. They were good.
You just sit across from someone like on the bus and
just ping them at people. They were good.
So I would go for a big snake. Oh dear. This is also not on here, and you're gonna be like, you're a fucking gimp. Was milk bottles.
Oh, fuck off. They're never in the top three in a million years.
I really enjoyed them.
Oh, you are so bad with sweets. Oh my God, that's awful.
I like those because I quite like on Love Hearts in Haribo, I quite like the soft bit, like the white bit, like the egg white, and then that bit. I quite like that. It's good.
No. So what else is really bad as well? The coconut mushrooms, the mushrooms, and the foam teeth. Yeah. They're awful. I didn't mind the Jazzle. Do you know the Jazzle, the white ones, the little? They're called white gems or snowies, but they do big versions of them called Jazzles. Jazzles. Can't remember what they're called.
Bonbons.
No. Jazzles. Number 42. The number 42 on the Metro.
42. Let me scroll.
Yeah, a bit like white mice, but with little things on top.
The white gems.
Yeah, there
it says white gems on it.
Yeah, no, I didn't call them white gems. They're called Jazzles.
AKA Snowies. Yeah, I like those. But the brown gems are called jazzies.
Yeah, that's what the white jazzies are.
Well, if you scroll 2 seconds down, mate, they'd
Well,
be right next to
I'm too busy
her.
fucking wondering why you picked number 49 milk bottles, mate. Number 49.
Oh, are they on there? Good.
Yeah, they
White
are.
white
Blackjacks
chocolate
are also
mice are
shit.
terrible. And the bananas are awful as well. So milk
Bananas are
bottles,
shit. Yeah, agree with that. Bananas are
big
shit.
giant snake. And if I'm only around one more, I think I might have
There's a
sour
couple.
belts.
Yeah. See, I'm just not a big fan of sour sweets, but I can understand why people like them, so I kind of let you off of that.
Yeah, I quite like them. It's a little bit. I'm salivating over it now, so
It's
probably
always
the
a good sign.
case.
Always a good sign. Yeah.
Honorable mentions would be like normal cola bottles or gummy bears, staple. You're not going to lose like sleep if you don't have them, but they're pretty good.
Mm,
Eggs for me. Anything in the Haribo selection, like normal.
yeah.
I didn't really enjoy lips. I thought they were a bit shit. I quite like the cherries.
Cherries are obviously a standard. They're really good. Like I like cherries, especially sour cherries. I do like sour
Yeah,
cherries.
those shrimp, fucking terrible. Lemon sherbet, grow up, or like be old. Um, all
Lemon
that kind of
sherbet
stuff.
shit.
There's
Cola
some
cubes
bad
are
ones.
okay. I used to like Cola cubes because they had a bit of chewiness inside them, didn't they? They're a bit chewy.
Mm.
The Cola
Jelly
cubes.
rings, cool. That kind of stuff. Nice. Very nostalgic,
Mm.
mate. Anybody who had, what is it, blackjacks? Blech.
Awful.
They
I
were
hate
gross,
licorice. I
weren't
hate
they?
anything licorice aniseed. It's just not a
Licorice.
sweet for me. It's just not a sweet.
It's just not good, is it? Like, I don't understand anybody who's had that. Like, it's gross. Blackjacks.
Awful.
Oh,
Reminds me of my
oh.
granddad. Used to eat them all the time.
Granddad, I messaged Dan through Facebook today. Realize.
Speaking of granddads, yeah, you did. My post about Gnocchi, you were like, oh, Gnocchi. It's great. It's great.
Oh,
Great
yeah,
rice.
yeah. Mate, have you ever
Air
had it in the
fryer.
air fryer?
The amount of people that have told me to do that, they were like, boil it up, make it, and then put it in the air fryer. And they were like, it goes crispy.
Oh, you
I'm
don't need
like,
to
I'm
boil it
on
up,
that.
mate. No,
I'm on that.
just bash
And
it
someone
on.
actually messaged me and said, so here's something for you, Tom, that I think you would like as well, right? Get on this, right? How about this for an idea? So someone said to me, yeah, but not at 10 a.m. though. And I was like, well, it's 1 o'clock here, but okay, regardless, 10 a.m. And then I thought to myself, hang on a minute. Can you imagine bacon, sausage, baked beans, and tater tots with gnocchi?
That'd work,
That is a
wouldn't it?
breakfast right there. That would
Yeah,
work,
that would
wouldn't it?
work.
The beans
Yeah.
is that the sauce with all that mixed in with like chopped up sausages or small cocktail sausages with some bacon in it. Oh my
I
God.
might have to make like some like masala beans, I think. Spice it up, like zhuzh it up a little bit. I
Yeah.
don't think you have plain beans.
Yeah, you need a little something in there maybe, but I
I
just think
think you
that would
just need
work
to
really well. I think you need to
elevate
try it.
it.
I think you need to try it. That's all I'm saying.
Yeah,
All I'm
but
saying.
air fried gnocchi, make it nice and crispy. So I do like an air fried. I've got it as like a saved on my Instagram, like in my recipes thing, and I do it fairly frequently. It's a air fried gnocchi with sweet chili, and then I just bung some like meats and stuff in it. So fucking good. And then I,
Reminds me
I
of
do
this.
like air fried broccoli quite a lot
Yeah.
as well, just because broccoli's so much better when it's all crunchy. Tastes like crisps. So
It tastes more like crisps. Let's not get ahead of ourselves, Tom.
yeah, but it's better than you weirdos that fucking boil it. Like that's just how you know you've given up in life, essentially.
No, you've given up in life. You boil broccoli. Okay, so
If you boil your broccoli, then
yeah,
what you do, just give up. Don't bother.
you officially failed in life. Yeah.
Just shut down. It's okay. Anyway, my theory. So the pick and mix theory, I think it can probably be another theory. So the original point to that email was I could probably get it up, but I'm not going to bother.
Is the point of
Was
it that, by the way, before I have not read it, but I mean, see if I can guess it. The point of it, you have to try everything to find out what you like.
give or take, yeah, yeah. It was more the case of I've tried all this shit
Yeah.
and I need to pick and mix it to get my best fucking like
Yeah.
result. Like
Yeah.
my clients are coming to me probably because they can ask me about this, and I've been coaching for how old am I? 33, 11 years. So probably seen it at some point, but
Yeah.
also the case of I've got a bachelor's degree, I've got a master's degree, I've got like FRC, FMS 1, 2, SFMA, physio thing, Exos, Altus, what's that other one? PRI, CFSE 1 and 2, and tutor. It's like all these things from different spectrums within fitness. and I've gone and getting qualified in them, and nutrition, but I didn't fucking list that. I just wrote some nutrition bullshit. And then you're like, okay, but I was talking about rabbit holes, and I'm like, you can't just fill your fucking cup with what would be jelly snakes, because that's not a good recipe for having an enjoyable time and a good pick and mix. If I went all in, and we know these people, Daniel, who go all in on PRI, for example, blowing up fucking balloons. They go all in on FRC, or they go all in on Exos. There are worse ones to go all in. But it's like, okay, you're probably not going to fix everybody that you could possibly have, or you're going to get lost and not get frustrated, and probably alienate a lot of people as well if you think that is the be all and end all. Like the carnivore guys, right? They cannot work with everybody. And I'm not saying I'm going to work with everybody, but I'm going to have a fucking good go at like probably treating or coaching most people. But it's for our field, it's far better to be a generalist in terms of training and picking out the things that work. And that's what makes you and your story of coaching. Like my story of coaching is like, I actually have taken stuff away from PRI as much as bullshit there is in it. Like, okay, some of the breathing mechanics, I'm like, I've taken that out. And my whole coaching development and story, this is what I was getting on for, was like, all right, but I've picked and choose what I think is good. And then I've created this pick and mix in terms of like, actually, I just need one big chunk of that. That's my main. I probably use the main stuff from my coaching from CFFC and Exos, probably my biggest foundation things. And I take mobility stuff from FMS and corrective based stuff. And then I sprinkle some PRI breathing drills, and which is like, I don't know, some dust or some fucking, I don't know, what are the little things that you could put in there? Jelly tots, sprinkles, all that kind of stuff.
Put some fizzy cherry cola bottles in there. You can put all sorts.
There we go. But it fills out my kind of coaching story and my philosophy about how I get results. And then obviously spam. I put a bunch of results in there because it's like it works, and that's what people have come to me for. But it was the case. It's the pick and mix theory. You can't just have fucking one thing, because that's not going to be a good pick and mix as far as I'm concerned. People do it, but you're going to think that person's a fucking weirdo. More than likely. Sure. So that was the pick and mix theory. I'd imagine Dan would agree.
And me, definitely. I think it's a good little theory, isn't it? I quite like the little theory you've got there.
But also what is going to be worse is I've realized that for me to do this on Instagram, I'm going to have to go to pick and mix. Wasn't worse, but also buy an abundance of pick and mix so I can do a selection at home. So
what a shame that is.
Worse things. So it's a business expense, isn't it? It's going on Instagram. Well,
it is, mate. Yeah, definitely business expense. So make sure you get enough of it. That's what I would say. Just make sure you get enough. All right. That'd be important. So yeah, there you go.
But then I was trying to think like how does that apply? Obviously the story message, the why you become a coach, and I listed like education purposes. Like I had John Clark as a coach. I bought this other stuff like so I can go and do coaching from people that I respect and people I don't respect, and just learn certain things off them as well, which also developed what my coaching skills would be. But it was an interesting, like it's still going to be pick and choosing, not having all of one thing. And the story was like, all right, we're doing it. We're powerlifting. We're doing a triathlon. I went and played football and I haven't completely broken down. I'm ready. I've trained today. I had one day out and I've trained today. That kind of thing, which I'd imagine most bodybuilders, shocked, probably not really have to do. But yeah, then I was struggling to relate it to what you do, if I'm honest. That was the caveat in terms of like business development, because I feel like like you would double down on a lot of stuff, I would say, but then there's lots of
no, but you have to have the right mix though. It's like you still have to have the right mix of, so for example, when it comes to social media content, you can't just post the same piece of content over and over again. It has to be variety to it, right? There's bits of that. And then even down to like your business and how you develop your business, you can't just focus on the same product all the time. You'd have different things. You'd have certain periods you talk about your free stuff, then maybe a group thing, then maybe one-to-one. Again, you can't apply the same strategy one year to the next. You might focus more on growing a following one year versus more on engaging that following versus more on monetizing that following. There's loads of ways you can go around it, but you certainly couldn't do the same thing over and over again. But also with that, I would argue that I believe that with business development stuff, I would argue the suites would change in terms of like there'd be new stuff coming out all the time. Like, and you go, you've got to add this in, you've got to sprinkle this in, you can ignore that. It's not for you or whatever. Yeah, that's the way I think it applies for sure. I think problem is that people, what they do is they have their favorite suite and they just fucking go to town on it. And I'm like, Okay. Like, well, that's probably not going to lead you to long-term success, is it? Because you're getting sick and tired of eating that sweet over and over again.
It's going to get you that
It's the
far.
variety that's the key.
And you're like, all right, good. I can only get you that level of happiness with that sweet. We're going to have to try something else to unlock next level. It's like, yeah, that's going to be the case. And you're going to end up being sick of it, if I'm honest. Too much a good kid thing. Probably going to get sick of those fucking giant snakes, mate. Which is exactly what happened to me when I was a child. Because I would quite happily just fill my pot full of snakes.
Can't do that, mate. You just can't do that. You know, that's
moral of the story, mate. Don't fill your pot full of snakes.
There you go.
What snakes they are?
I think it's the same with, like, I said this about golf. I couldn't play golf every day. I get bored of it.
Well, we've proven that. Like, we played like 8 times in 10 days, and we were like, I'm over golf.
I don't. Give me a week off. Funny how it works.
We were just like, we probably need to go 2 on, 1 off, 2 on, 1 off.
Can have too much of a good thing, believe it or not.
Yeah. So, which was the theory. I mean, I was like, I've literally wrote it down. I was like, yes, this is amazing. Just garbage. But shockingly, you have these ideas by writing several emails at a time instead of just Obviously, there's a time. I think I was looking at Simon Mitchell because he's very kind of like one edit go, which you can kind of tell. He's very like spur of the moment sometimes. But then there's a case of like, I'll like push off stuff. I'm sure you're the same. Like, you'll be like, boom, 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 boom. I'll rattle off quite a few. But if there's any spare of the moments, I'll just slot it in and be like, okay, cool. That one's coming out Friday instead of that one. We'll push that to next Friday. And that will make more sense. But super interesting. Ideas flow in it, mate. Nice. What insightful episodes. I'm definitely gonna be doing some reels with Pick a Mix. Probably be out next week.
I really want some Pick a Mix now, I'm not gonna lie.
There's got to be some stuff. Like, you basically have Pick a Mix ice cream over there, so on tap.
Probably get it delivered if I really wanted to. I'll have a look. Let's have a look now. Brilliant. What a shame.
There's not much around me. Maida Vale's a little bit too middle class for Pick a Mix.
There's a bit in it.
Yeah.
Never mind.
Anyway, that's not where I live.
Walking the streets. You don't want to go walking the streets now, mate, because you'll fucking get robbed. So stay.
I would get robbed, and I've got to take my garden waste to somewhere as well.
Ooh.
Sorry, mate.
You're such an adult now.
Things grow here, so
yeah, I know. Yeah, just get some sand, mate. Loads.
Just got sand and cactus.
Things don't grow there. Oh dear.
Fun. Anyway, any other business?
Not for me, mate. I'm gonna go and have my dinner. Steak and butter.
Lovely. Oh yeah, that was why I didn't even intentionally do Thrive for the carnivore thing. It was actually, I was going to talk about my food prep company that I think is one of the worst rebrands. Not my food prep, the company that I'm using at the moment for food prep used to be called Lions Prep. That's why I signed up. I thought it was quite cool. And now it's called Thrive, FRIV. And I just think it's a bit wet.
That's such a London thing, isn't it? That.
And I'm like, actually, you've lost me because you've rebranded. I'm going to wait until my discount has ended and switch to a different company.
Well, there you go. Just because they used F instead of TH.
Well, no, just because I signed up because I thought Lions Prep was very fitnessy based, and now I feel like I'm a 42-year-old woman trying to thrive at life. And I keep saying thrive as in TH, and I can't do the F bit because I'm like, well, that's not how you say it, is it?
No, Lions Prep. It's now called Thrive.
There you go. Yeah. And what even more annoyed me was I signed up for a discount, the discount that was there with Lions Prep. Immediately when it switched to Thrive, 2 weeks later, bigger discount for the first signups. Brilliant, thanks. Goodbye, mate. I hate that so much. They should.
It's one of the things as well. This is another little thing. You know, when it's like when you buy your Sky Sports and then you get it and then you realise there's much better deals on like 3 months later and you're like, brilliant. Why don't you just give all your customers all this thing? I know that's not like what it does. It is annoying.
It is annoying. Yeah. Anyway,
I'm gonna have dinner. Catch you in a bit.
Thanks for listening, guys. What are you gonna say? Catch you next week.
See you later. Bye.